Welcome to Mooltik. Let's create our very first project by tapping on this button. Now this is our editing view. We will explore it later. First, let's start drawing our frames by tapping on this white preview on top. In this project, we're going to draw a simple bouncing ball. First, let's zoom in on a canvas by pinching with 2 fingers. Let's draw the ball. To create a new empty frame, tap on this plus button. Let's draw our second frame and a third frame. At the end, let's add a squish effect as the ball hits the ground. You can preview the animation by swiping on the frame wheel on the bottom. Let's color our ball with the bucket fill tool. Simply tap inside the ball to fill it with the selected color. And we are done with our frames. Now let's go back to the editing page. Let's play our animation. As you can see, the animation is cut early, so we don't see the last frame with the squish effect. To figure out what exactly is happening here, tap the clip and select Edit Scene. Here you can see the individual frames that make up our scene. Black bars on left and right signify the start and the end of the scene. And notice that our last frame falls outside of this range. Let's move the end of the scene by dragging this handle. This will fix our problem when previously animation was cut early. At any moment you can zoom in or out on a timeline by pinching with 2 fingers. Let's inspect our frames by tapping on them. By default, each frame is 1 second long. If we play it again, you can see it's a bit slow for our purposes. Let's speed it up by reducing the duration of each frame. Now that's better. As you might have noticed, the last frame remains shown after our frames end. If you want the animation to loop instead, you can do that by tapping on this arrow here. This makes the frames loop from start to finish until the end of the scene. Now that's not exactly what we wanted. We want our ball to bounce up and down. To do that, we need to tap the arrows again. This will enable the mode called ping pong. Ping pong mode makes the frames loop back and forth, which gives us the effect that we wanted. Press Done to exit the scene edit view. Our background looks a bit empty. Let's draw a ground so that the ball would bounce off from it. First, go back to the drawing page. This button here will open the Layers panel. To add a new layer for the ground, tap this plus button. Let's draw a simple horizon line and fill the bottom part with a light green color. Right now the ground is on top of the ball, but we want it to be behind. To do that, let's go back to the Layers panel. Just long press the ground layer and drag it all the way down. Notice that both layers are named Untitled. To rename them, you can either tap on the selected layer, or you can also swipe on that layer to bring up this menu and tap Rename. Let's go back and preview our animation. As you can see, the ground is visible throughout the whole scene. That's just a small taste of what's possible using layers in Mooltik. Alright, let's add an opening scene to our animation. To create a new scene, tap on this plus button over here. Scrub on the timeline to bring the new scene into view. Then open the drawing page. We start with a single empty frame. That's because the drawing page only shows frames for the selected scene. We're gonna draw a title frame. Let's add a second frame where we will trace the title again. We will then loop the frames for a shaky text effect. Now let's go back, shorten our frames, and loop them. That's it. We are done with our opening scene. As an opening scene, it should go first. You can reorder scenes in the board view. Tap on this button to switch to the board view. Long press on the title board and drag it to the front. Let's switch to the timeline view and play it one more time. Alright, our animation is looking good and we would like to export it as a video. To export, tap on this icon here. Allow the permission if it pops up. And this is our export dialog. You can choose between exporting a video or images. Right now we want a video, so let's keep it as it is. Tap Export. When export is complete, the video would be uploaded to the device's gallery. Congratulations! You have now learned all of the basic functionality in Mooltik.